Welcome back to another episode of GSC. The 3/4 ton 54 GMC and I are going to throw down and see if I can't make it move under its own power. So I'll flip the camera around and we'll talk about what's going to have to happen here. The GMC is still waiting for me to get my crap together and work on it. Fuel line's off at the carb, and that way there was no lacquer coming from the tank. We don't know if the fuel pump does or doesn't work down here, all by his little lonesome self. And these plugs and wires are not what I would call in great shape. So, and that cap's pretty toast. Trying to get a little air in the tire here with my little Craftsman lawnmower compressor. Works pretty good. Here's my new cap. I've got all new plug wires. Got a nice shiny new rotor. I've got a nice shiny new fuel pump. Got some fuel line here. And I went ahead and brought some wire with me, 2 different flavors. And that way I can make just a makeshift key switch that goes from under the hood up into the cab. That way I can turn on, turn off, and kill it if I need to. And I'm gonna go grab the battery out of the 54 Chevy 1-ton, big old dot back here, and throw that on the charger so it's got plenty of juice. And that way it's ready to rip when I have everything hooked up on this. So hypothetically, if all goes well, the bigger GMC here will at least run under better conditions today with a 5-gallon gas can instead of just ether. And maybe I'll get lucky and be able to get 10 or 15 pounds of air in these tires, and we'll try to move it around the field. So I'll go get that battery on the charger and start working on this. So we're going to start here by doing our cap. So I'll go ahead and pop the thumb tabs here. Those are off. All I'm going to do is take this old cap, pull him up and out of the way, reach down in here and slip the old rotor out. I already changed the point, so we'll slip the new rotor in. They're keyed, and that's where they go. Now I'll take this new cap, slip him over, and get him lined up here. And that way we can make sure everything fits. Although, this may actually be a short cap, and I need a tall. So I'll check this out and we'll get back to that. All right, after further investigation, they gave me a short cap and I do need a tall. There are 2 variations for these trucks, so I'll have to just take this back to Napa. It's not a big deal. So what I'll go ahead and do is I'll start just taking one plug wire off at a time here, and that way I don't lose where I was at. What I usually do is try to find a plug wire that's pretty similar in length to the original, and that way it's gonna fit in about the same spot. That one's a little bit short, so I'll go ahead and sort through my wires here and find the closest one. Now I do like how long that is, so I'll pop him in here for number 1. Alright, there's one. So I'll start popping these out and swapping these over. Plugging along out here, no pun intended. Spark plugs are going in as I do this. First 3 are done, rear three are waiting. You can see how crusty these wires are. They're not flexible anymore. They've pretty much seen it. So, like I said, just doing one at a time here. And that way I don't mix anything up. Kind of stuck using this old cap because it's tall cap versus short, but that's not a big deal. We'll keep taking these and toss them in the bed. Get the last of these in, and we'll start working on our fuel pump down below. Plugs, wires, rotor, and old cap are in. Coil wires on. Got all my spark plug wires here. I'm gonna probably go ahead and grab a zip tie and just bundle these up, and that way they're not touching anything. And now that's done, I'll go ahead and take my makeshift ignition switch here, cut those, add leads, and run it up right into the cab where the old one was. So I'll get working on that, show you guys where it's going to end up, and then we will start plugging away at that fuel pump, because that is going to be the toughest part. Part of me almost wants to go ahead and pull this line off here, put my barb fitting in, and see if I don't get gas out of it. or suck gas through it. And if I do with the old fuel pump, then awesome. And if I don't, well, it's not a big deal. I got another one in the box. So I'll make that decision in a little while. Plug wires are zip tied. I've got my key switch here is wired up into the truck. And the switch isn't the right size to fit in the dash, but for safety purposes, it's at least inside where I can reach it in the event anything goes south. Because, well, safety third. That being said, I think it's time I can work on this whole fuel pump deal. I'm gonna take that line off, hook my barb fitting to it, and we're just gonna start there. And if it starts, awesome. If it doesn't, well, pumps aren't hard to change. My makeshift fuel tank here, batteries in, key switch is in, fuel line's all the way down there. I think it's time to grab some starting fluid and see if this will make truck sounds and see if that fuel pump works. All right, clutch is in, pump the gas. Woo, she's trying. Might have to try some ether, but good signs. It makes sounds, and let's go look at this fuel pump. It has the old glass top on it. It is full of gas. Good deal. All right, we're getting closer. Fuel pump's pumping. There we go. Nice. Making progress here. You hear the gas bubbling back into the tank. Oh yeah. That's it. She's running on her own. Fuel pump works. This is cool. Close the door, put my oil down here. Oh, this is awesome. So much awesome. Oil band air cleaner set on. Hood is closed. Okay. Now I'm going to get in the driver's seat of this thing, push in the clutch, put it in first gear. And we move. Ladies and gentlemen, the 54 GMC is alive.
If you had smell-o-vision, you would smell a ton of nasty exhaust and burning mouse nests. Because when you've sat for 35 years or more, you get a few mouse nests. Portland Bowles in his Jimmy 6. And his mom's gonna yell, "Get off my hay." So what's he do? A Yui in her hay.
Well, it runs. It smells kind of bad because it's all full of mouse nests in the clutch, but me and 54 GMC wandered around the field a little bit here tonight, and yet another all original Survivor Reviver here with the 54. So I think this is a pretty good point where I'm gonna have to get my spare gas tank put in it, do some more cleanup, and see about making the brakes work. So thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see what we do with this next.